Hi everyone, so today I thought I would be doing something a little bit different and I'm going to be sharing with you some tips for starting dance late, specifically as a teenager. I know a lot of people, teens and adults, that want to start dance but they think it might be too late or that you have to start when you're younger. But I just want to say that you could start at any age and you can be successful when starting late. I know money can definitely be an issue and prevent people from starting dance, but I highly recommend checking out a nonprofit studio because at nonprofit studios they can usually give you some sort of scholarship or financial aid. I actually go to a nonprofit studio and I kind of wish that I knew it was a nonprofit studio before I started because then maybe I could have joined sooner, but it's okay. It can be pretty difficult starting late, especially if you're a teenager, so I thought I could share some tips to help out with that. So I started dance, specifically ballet, in 2018 when I was 16, so it's been about 2 years. I've only been ballet trained, but hopefully after the pandemic is over, I can start doing other styles. I've been trying to experiment with some on my own, but hopefully it'll get better. We'll see. So this past fall I did actually start point for the first time, and it's definitely been a struggle with the pandemic, especially because my chair falls over all the time, so when I get to point it's not very good, but it's okay, we're working with it. So for the first tip that I'll give, I know a lot of people aren't going to want to hear this, but since you are starting late, it's very, very important for you to stretch every day. As a teenager or an adult, it's going to be a lot harder for you to gain flexibility, but it is possible. I've definitely had to work very hard for my flexibility. It took quite a while, but it's getting there and it's still not perfect, but hopefully it will get better. I highly recommend looking up stretching tutorials. I can link some down below. I started stretching before I started ballet, and when I was stretching on my own, I did not know what I was doing. I was stretching with horrible technique, so make sure that you're watching those tutorials so you can see what the proper technique is, making sure that your hips and shoulders are square, you have good posture, and that will really help you once you get to class. In addition to stretching, strengthening exercises are going to be really beneficial for you because ballet uses a completely different set of muscles, so strengthening those muscles is going to help you. Ballet-based workouts are really nice because it uses those muscles. Ab workouts are good too because it will strengthen your core. Feet strengthening is really important, so doing TheraBand exercises, which I could link down below, releves and eleves, just getting that ankle strength is really important. My second tip would be to record yourself. Whether that's doing stretching or practicing a certain move, you can look to see little things that you need to adjust. This can also help document your improvement to see maybe how your flexibility has changed or how you've been able to accomplish a certain move. When critiquing yourself, you should also remember to give yourself credit because you are starting late and you're not going to be as advanced as the people that are the same age as you. So when recording yourself, point out a few things that you did right and maybe a few things that you need to work on. I did this when I was trying to learn how to do a penché. I'll insert the photos, but don't laugh because my arms look so weird because I wasn't focusing on the arms, but you should still focus on the arms. Anyway, here are those photos. So as you can see, there's still a bit of improvement over the 2 years, but it's still not perfect. I'm working on it, but hopefully I'll get there soon. My tip number 3 is to watch dance videos. I've been able to learn so much just by watching other dancers and watching their solos, seeing how they include their artistry and their emotion and how they utilize their technique and choreography, and it's just, you can learn so much from it. I highly recommend all of the solos that I reacted to in my previous videos. Those are all really good, and you can see how different dancers really put themselves into the choreography. You can see what makes a great dancer and also how certain moves are supposed to look. Tip number 4 is to try different classes on YouTube. You can learn from so many different teachers and choreographers, and you can also pause the video if you can't remember the combination, because that's something that I definitely struggle with. Since I've only been doing dance for 2 years, it's often hard for me to memorize choreography or combos because I'm not used to memorizing movement. It's like a completely new thing for me. So that's something that I'm working on, and the YouTube videos can definitely help because I can practice memorizing the combo, and just learning from a new teacher is really beneficial. Also, if you haven't taken your first class yet, it would be really good to watch some of the videos and learn the basics, like the positions of the feet and the arms, which is something that I did not do at my first class, and I was the only new student, so I saw everyone just like moving their arms around and I was like, what are they doing? I don't know, and I was so lost. So definitely do that. My final tip is to persevere and not feel embarrassed. If you're starting as a teenager, there's probably going to be a point where you're going to be the oldest person in the class. For me, there were times where I was the oldest person in the class, but I was also the worst person in the class, and I just had to work my way up. And just don't let it get to you, and just give yourself credit for the things that you do right, but also just strive and work hard. I was originally in a beginning teen class for a few months, but then I moved up to the regular levels where I was in a class with like 8-year-olds and I was 16. So that was definitely a humbling experience. I was able to work my way up from being one of the worst in the class to being able to actually skip that level. Also, try to befriend the kids in your class, because even though they might be younger than you, it's gonna be more fun if you have someone to connect and bond with. I made friends with some of the new 12-year-olds that started joining the class, and once I started to make those friends and those connections, that's when ballet got really fun and I really enjoyed it. Even though you may think you don't have a lot in common, your love for dance will help connect you guys, and that will just make the experience so much more fun. And then when I did skip a level, I was in a class with mostly just 12 to 13-year-olds. So the age difference wasn't as huge anymore. And some of the kids in the class were even just like 2 years younger than me. And that definitely made the experience, especially like performances, really fun. Like doing Nutcracker with all of them was just a really fun way to bond, and it wouldn't have been the same if I would have just come to myself and been alone. So that's all the tips that I have for today, but if you have any questions, I can definitely answer them in the comments below. If you're a teen or adult dancer interested in starting, or maybe you just started, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope that you do very well. And hopefully when the pandemic's over, we can start doing more classes in the studio, because starting in quarantine can definitely be pretty hard, so. Okay, so that's it for this video. Stay tuned for my reaction video next week. Oh, and thank you to everyone that subscribed in the last video. Like, that's crazy that I even got subscribers, so thank you so much. Bye!